Hey there, everybody. Mandy and Chris here. Ev- you do that every time. He never waves like that any other time. But we are, this is what, our fifth time doing the fourth or fifth time? I'm not really sure. But tonight, yeah, he keeps better count. But tonight, we're going to talk about whenever there's a trauma that happens, while you're married within your family and how you cope with it through your marriage. And uh, this one will be, I don't know, it's probably going to be a little bit hard for us, but probably very therapeutic because just to, I see that some of y'all are popping on here. Um, just to kind of give y'all a rundown, a few years back, I was diagnosed, and we're just going to give you like a really big rundown. Quick rundown. I was diagnosed with a rare genetic heart condition that showed up whenever I was 38 years old. Um, we had no idea about it until it hit at 38. I was healthy, did all the things, did all the right things, but it's just genetic. You can't outrun your genetics. We spent the whole year in and out of hospitals, out of town in Atlanta because the doctors didn't know what to do with me here. I was felt like a science experiment. It was just a rough year. I was in and out of surgeries. I had 5 heart surgeries that year. It was hard, but we all went through trauma that year, and we all had a really hard time with it. I had a hard time with it because, of course, I was the one that was going through it, the one that was bedridden, but he had a hard time with it for totally different reasons. And that kind of stuff can make or break a marriage. But I would have to say it probably brought us closer together, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't take one day for granted anymore. Because during that year, we really had no idea if I was going to make it, if this surgery was going to work, if that surgery was going to work, and it was hard.
Yes. Hard on the kids.
Yeah.
Kids was worried and scared and wondering if Mama was going to have to go to the hospital, or when was Mama going to come home from the hospital, or
Right.
it was just, and things happened at home that scared them in the night a few times, and me.
Yeah.
It's just very traumatic, and even after it's been almost 2 years, there's certain things that I can see or hear, and I'm right back there when she was at the worst.
Yeah.
So you don't realize what what you went through, and what your mind and your physical and your brain has went through until you've went through it, and you're trying to get a glimpse of normal, and you can't even get normal because you're almost just tensed up in knots waiting for the next bomb to go off. And it's very hard and very trying. Hard for your little kids to see your spouse go through this, and hard for you as a spouse to see your spouse go through this, and you can't do nothing about it.
Some of the things that he saw, not saying it's good to see it anytime, but like he saw it at a younger age than most people saw things like that. And I went through the trauma part of actually having the 5 surgeries, having the heart issue or whatever, and not being able to do my normal. But then he went through the trauma of watching me go through it, being mom and dad, doing things that completely humbled me too, because I didn't ever think that he would have to do those certain things until we were older. It it was that was that was hard, but I do believe that I almost and being on the side that I was on, the health side of it, I do believe that my kids and Chris went through the worst trauma because they had to watch it, and it's a helpless feeling, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, when
It's hard.
when you have to leave and go to work or try to go to
Yeah.
work,
He was
leave her
working
here,
full time
and we're-
outside of the house.
and we're homeschooling the kids, so the kids are home. So at one point we had to have someone just come sit and stay over here when I was gone, because what she went through toward the last was so significantly catastrophic to us.
Yeah.
What happened and things and the toxic that she got off of a medicine that we were supposed to stop.
It was just.
It was. You
it's
can never
just
get
a
the
lot.
you can never get the image out of your head, and she was kind of scared to be by herself with the kids, and you go to work and you just wonder, is she gonna be okay today? Are we gonna end up at the ER? Are we gonna be? Is she gonna be breathing when I get home? I would wake up in the middle of the night and check her and see if she was breathing, and I still do that to this day, just because you wake up sometimes and you're just like, you think you're back in that. It's the only thing that really probably kept me sane was having 3 kids to be able to be a parent to and get my focus on something other than the constant worry and stress of what was going on with her. I do believe if they hadn't been here, I probably would have just lost it, because it was rough.
Yeah, it's just it's traumatic.
And that time I was still involved at the church, playing and singing when I could. I had to miss a few times, but we have a church family that was behind us the whole time, because in the middle of this, I couldn't pray, I couldn't sleep. It's a
lot. It's just a lot to process.
You were just grasping to make it through each day.
You're in fight or flight.
Basically.
And that's the thing, though. Whenever you go through a trauma in your married life, I would say the biggest thing that you have to do is you have to have other people around you to help you and stay focused. Because, I mean, I know that all traumas aren't like ours, and there are other things that go on in other people's lives, but, you've got to be able to talk to other people that support you outside of your spouse too.
Right.
Not that, because he is my best friend, but and vice versa, but he didn't want to tell me his struggles with it, because of course I'm sedated over here, and it's just too much. And then some of the things that I was having a hard time with, I didn't want to add to his plate. So I really do think that the best, that what has kept us afloat is having another family outside, whoever that looks like, to talk to and to vent to. And then so whenever you can come back together, of course you're a little bit more rational, I guess. Is that,
Yeah. And our church family was, held us up in prayer for a year going through this, and our friends is nearby or close family that's right here with us, and God had a plan. She had to go through I say hell on earth to get to the end of the victory with it. And you get on the mountaintop and you're like, this is amazing. But then again, you cannot let go of what just happened. And that was my biggest problem. She can step forward and walk on. I couldn't let things go because it had just rocked my world. And it wasn't nothing against her or anybody. It was just, it was trauma, and neither one of us had ever dealt with anything this severe, or I haven't. And it will shake you to your core. And if you didn't, I could not understand. I could understand if somebody had never heard about Jesus or God, but I could not fathom having to go through what we did without knowing Jesus was with us, because at sometimes
That's all you have.
You wondered if he was there, because it would get to the point you're like, she was tired of fighting because it was rough, and it was almost like the worst was right at the end before the victory came, and it was torment at times for her, on her body, physically, mentally, emotionally, and just emotionally drained, because as a spouse you are completely helpless. You can't fix this. It ain't like, hey honey, can you go hang this on the wall? Yeah, I can go put that up. You cannot fix this. And there's going to be things that you cannot fix for your spouse or your loved one, and you have to hold on to the life preserver of Jesus, because if not, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I've dealt with other things in my family that family members have went through, and it always comes back to God.
To God.
There was things that happened during this time when she was sick. It was complete God show up a day before a major surgery. He would show up when we didn't have no hope, and we would be talking to some complete stranger, telling them what's going on, and she would say, God put you here to talk to me today. And this was at a hospital out of this state. People can say what they want to. God can work wherever. He knows what you need. He knows how you need it, when you need it, and knows how to get it to you. And he did several times throughout this year. Even though we're still right here, all we see is the back of our hand most of the time, because we can't get.
You can't see what's coming.
You're not looking far enough ahead because you're worried about what's fixing to happen. But and since that, we're almost pushing the 2-year mark. God has showed up in ways that I can't explain. I mean, it's just like.
But we still have
and
trauma.
we still deal with it.
Chris sees an ambulance and he freaks out. I see a hospital, I freak out. I go to the doctor, I still. She don't
even like going to the normal doctor for anything, and I don't blame her. You can't blame her, because
it's just because I'm thinking
she was a guinea
in my
pig.
head. Yeah, I was literally a guinea pig for a long time, and I was a science experiment because it was so rare, and I'll post on stories that I'm going to the doctor or whatever, but it's really my anxiety posting it, wanting somebody to just say, yay, you went to the doctor, or something, because it's hard. We still have trauma from it, but it's
and it's I mean, when I was still working construction with my relative, he encountered a very bad fall and broke his leg right at the hip, and I'd never seen this particular person in this much pain. And then that all just took me back to what she had been going through, and then we had to get him to an ambulance, and it was just things that cannot unshake you, and that will shake you to the core. And I still battle it. When I see an ambulance, I just say, oh God, whoever it's for, get them there and help them. I mean, because it just gives me the all-overs.
We've all been through, like, the kids are going through trauma counseling. I mean, it's.
And they asked to go talk to somebody because we wanted to find out, and we asked some people from church, and then we asked, would y'all like to go talk to somebody about
and they
things?
were
They
all
were like, all three. So that was God. And
It's definitely, you got to be able to talk to somebody. That's the biggest thing. Whether you're going through this as a family, in a marriage, together, you've got to be able to talk to somebody outside of your marriage and outside of your family, because like Chris just said, you can't see 2 feet or 2 inches in front of your face sometimes. And it's kind of like y'all are in the bubble. Like me and Chris were in the bubble together. So we had to, to talk to somebody that was outside the bubble that could kind of give us, some guidance, or even just pray for us, or even just give us a hug and say, you're doing it. You're doing a great job. And, trauma stinks because you can't, nobody wants it. And we never thought, like I said, we never thought that at 38 years old, I would be at, a life or death situation. And I never thought that, both of us never thought that we would have to, make decisions that we did. But like Chris said, God was there every step of the way. And even now, as we look back and we think of the trauma that we've been through, or the situation, little situations in the big situation, the picture, we look back and we think, wow, God was right there with us through that too. And wow, God was there in that person, or wow, God, and there were people, even nurses and doctors that we met, that we knew that we were in that place for a reason, whether it was for them or whether it was for us, and that right there just, makes it, I would have to say it makes it worthwhile for me. I was the one that was being cared for. Of course, I was the one who was being cut on, and all these things were happening to me, but I had a peace that just passed all understanding. I don't know where it came from, but Chris had to physically watch that stuff. And, if it was reversed, I would have had a hard time with that too. And, I have to say there were several times that I wanted to give up, and I didn't give up because of him and my kids.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't blame her. She was war slap out, and I understood. But then again, I always joke about this. When this all started, I said, "You're not gonna leave me here raising these 3 kids by myself. That ain't what I signed up for."
Yeah, every time I went back into a surgery, into heart surgery, he'd say, "Don't you leave me here with these 3 kids. We've made some crazy kids. Don't you leave me by myself."
I had to make her smile or something, because I was trying to keep myself from falling apart. You just do whatever you can. And even through all that, we still got on each other's nerves, because she was in pain. I didn't sleep. I sat in chairs in our hospital room for days on end. It's just terrifying. And she was going through the terror. And the not knowing part is what's terrible. And then all the medicines she had to, try to keep things slowed down just to keep her afloat till they figured out what we needed to do. It affected everything else in her body. So it was just complete roller coaster for a year. And then, but, God used family members to get us to a doctor in another state
to
that
get the
had
care that I needed.
That had the
proper equipment.
But he had the know-how that when he saw her and this thing, he did one procedure and it healed for a couple months and he'd come back. He said, "This can be corrected. This is what I went to school for." He said, "It's just we've got to get through the steps to get it where we can correct it, and we're going to." And he was just so sincere and compassionate about what he did. It wasn't just like, "Well, that ain't work. You're going to have to live on medicine." He said, "No, you're not supposed to have to live on medicine." That was God, because, most doctors, if they don't want to take a chance, this man took a lot of chances, and we had all the faith in the world in him. He was our man, and God put him in our path, and thank the Lord for it. and
Yeah.
thank the Lord for the family member that got us to Him, because it was all set up.
Right.
Whether we saw it or not, it was set up
Yeah.
from the day go. God knew what was going to happen. We had no clue.
Right.
And but you know, you try not to sweat little things afterwards, even though I catch myself doing it.
Well, we all do.
You don't sweat if the car's filthy inside and out. You don't sweat if the house gets dusty. You try not to sweat about the piles of laundry.
Right.
Because at that time, I didn't care about any of that. All I wanted her to be was well, living and well.
Yeah.
Things do not matter. People's lives, people's commitment to each other, people's love matter.
Our house looked like a crap show for a long time, but I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, both of us, it didn't matter because,
No.
I mean, we knew right then and there what mattered the most was getting me well and getting me through what I needed to get through, but also getting the kids through it and getting him through it. And trauma, it's hard, but you know, the aftermath of trauma is hard too.
Yeah.
And you know, we're still going through that aftermath, and like I said, there are things that trigger us all the time, and we have to go. It's like you go through it all over again.
But you know, I don't interrupt you, but you know,
You did.
on a lighter, happier note, we waited till the following, whenever it was, to go back for her follow-up to be checked over to say everything's great. We came home and told our pastor, we want you to tell the church that her report's great. There is no reason for medicines. God has made the way happen. The doctors have done the job. Things are fixed. And he announced that at our service on Sunday, because we asked him to, because we wanted all the people in the church to know how grateful we were
For their
for their
prayers. Their
prayers.
prayers came to pass.
And you talking about rejoicing, the emotional side of the release of pain and scare and fear, and it's no way to describe
Yeah.
to feel this weight come off of you. And I know it was great for her, but to know that she doesn't have to go take medicine for it, that she don't have to go to a doctor every other day, to know that she can get up, exercise, and do normal things. That's the most that's the most blessing that could ever be put in front of me
Yeah.
and our kids, is their mama, my wife, my spouse, my best friend, the love of my life, to be well, and we be here together to get old together.
Yeah.
We married later on, and we've went 15 years, and this is just the beginning. God has purposely this past year laid things in steps out that's happened. I don't have time to tell you everything that's happened, because
Maybe one.
I don't really, some days I wake up and don't believe what's happened, but God knew what was happening, knew what was going to happen, and He ordained the steps. And it don't matter, you know, you still are at the top.
Yeah.
But that don't mean the enemy won't come and try to just kick you, and you're still going to go through junk.
Yeah.
Just pure tea crap. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And I do believe that's why people sometimes give up trying to live for God.
It's hard.
They think that once you're saved, everything's going to be great.
It's
It
hard.
is great, but it's the joy God gives you to have the perspective of, this is great no matter what I'm going through, because He is there with us.
Right.
And that's that's the whole key. It ain't trying to be this holier than thou, trying to be this righteous person that doesn't mess up. I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna mess up. I mess up all the time, every other minute. But God's grace, His love and compassion is greater. So if you're going through trauma, if you're going through crap, if life really sucks right now, just know the God of the heavens, our Lord, Savior, our Lord and Savior, is bigger than anything you can go through, because I've seen it. And there's no other way to describe it but God.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our faith, the grace that He has. We wouldn't be here.
We would have been split up a long time ago, because I mean, it's the truth.
It is the truth.
You got to realize it's when you do it. You know, if God puts you together, He puts you together. That don't mean it's gonna be super all the time. Sometimes you're gonna be wanting to get away from each other. But you know what?
We still do that.
Yes, and that's part of human nature.
Even after the trauma that we've been through, and we take one day at a time now, and we really cherish life, we still get on each other's nerves. We still, he's doing a big, I mean,
I get on her nerves worse than she gets on mine.
But I mean, yeah, it's just know that if you are going through something in your marriage, whatever that trauma is, you can get past it. And you can
find somebody to talk to, a pastor, a friend, a counselor, somebody. Don't ball it up and act like you're the only person going through something, because I guarantee you there'll be 9 other people that you know out of 20 that's going through other things just like it.
I mean, why do y'all think that we're sitting here doing this with y'all? Because we want y'all to know that y'all may not have gone through the same exact thing, but you may have gone through something that has been really hard on you and your husband together. And, you know, you may think that you're the only one that's ever gone through stuff like that. But me and Chris have always been very real. We're not going to sit here and tell you that everything's coming up roses and sunshine, because it's not. We have a solid marriage. We've been together for 15 years. But we also know we pick and choose our battles. We also respect each other, love each other, but we get on each other's nerves. Things happen, and it's okay. It's okay. You're human. As long as you come back together and you work it out, and you do all the things. But you can't make it through a trauma like that, or even after a trauma like that. Just because it's done doesn't mean that it's done. I mean, you're still going to keep going through it. You can't make it without talking to somebody else about it besides your spouse, because sometimes they're going through something totally different, or they may see it in a different way than you do. But then after you get it out, you talk to that person, you come back together, you can be a little bit more rational about it too. You can talk through it a little bit better. And I know that that's what saved us. I know it has, because, even after all of that, after I went through all of that, I would even find myself sometimes going, Chris, why can't you just snap out of it? Because we're past the trauma, we're past all of that. Why can't you just come out of it? Because
it don't happen that way.
It doesn't. And it kind of did for me in some ways, because I don't know, that was the physical part of me, because I was starting to feel better.
Yes.
So, but it wasn't a feeling for him. It was something that he was seeing, and it's something that he did see, and he's trying to get past. It's just, and everybody deals with it differently. But I'm here to tell you right now, we are faithful. We don't do it right all the time. No. But, it's by God's grace that I'm still here living after that 1 year of hell. And it's by grace that me and him are still together. Not just because of that 1 year, but also because of other things that have happened in our marriage. We have lots of testimonies. And, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's just find you somebody that you can talk to.
Yeah, don't keep it in.
Don't keep
I
it
mean,
and come together and
you need someone to give you counsel, and whether it's your pastor, whether it's a friend, whether it's a someone in the profession.
yeah.
Go talk. Don't sit there and try to figure this out on your own, because it only just magnifies in your head, because you thinking your thoughts get so jumbled up when you're going through it. So you need someone you can actually express it all, so they can make light of it and show you what's happening, and show you how to walk through it. So I promise we won't be this serious and this gut-wrenching talking stuff, but
this is our life.
yeah, I mean,
This is our life. This is what we go through, and we still are going through it. And this is what makes us us. You know, I did post something today. I don't even know if you saw it today, but
well, I saw it.
oh, you did. I was posting about
The picture.
you know, the picture of me and him, and you know, it looks like I'm hitting him, and he's laughing at me, and I mean, he's always laughing at me. I'm always hitting him, he says, but I mean, but that's us. We laugh and we cut up. We're sarcastic, but we also, behind closed doors, there is a crap show going on some days, but that's okay. It's okay. He laughs because it's the truth. But
yeah,
you know,
you don't always want to get out of bed some days.
No, we don't.
You don't want to get up and feed kids.
No,
you don't want to get up and do homeschool.
They're
You don't
always one to eat.
You don't want to answer a question. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad.
Since
hey, Mom.
he has been working at
Where's
home
Dad?
full time now, he's at home both of us are full time at home now, working from home. And the question all the time that I get is, "Hey, Mom, where's Dad?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm not his keeper. Well, hey, Mom, where's Dad? I'm like, I don't know.
And then when they find me, they go, "Hey, Dad, what you doing?"
I know.
Like, I'm in the bathroom, or I'm outside working on the car. I'm in the garage
It's
organizing.
great because now he's feeling what
Right.
I've always felt.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah. But it's a crap show sometimes. And they're always wanting to eat. And they're always making a mess. I mean, ugh.
Yeah, you want to get them little collars like you put on a dog and shock them? Nah,
Stop.
I'm just kidding.
He is kidding.
I got friends that told me that one time. I was
He's
like,
kidding.
you're nuts.
He's kidding.
Yes.
No hate mail,
No,
please.
I'm just
We're not
messing.
shocking our
I'm
children.
just messing with you.
Anyway, we need to leave on that note before we get some hate mail.
Oh, if they hate me for cutting up, I don't have nothing for them.
I
Anyway.
know that's us.
I mean, that's just
But
us.
It is, but this is also us too. The serious part, we do cut up a
Yeah,
lot,
we don't
but
like the seriousness so much.
we like to cut up better
Yeah.
than serious. But this is us, and this is, you know, it's okay if you're going through something. Just take our advice.
Yep. Not us. Don't take it from us.
No.
Just take it from the experience.
Right.
And you go
yeah.
find somebody, because
Yeah.
we ain't licensed, so don't do what we say. No. We're just
don't always do it right.
giving
Yes.
you our testimonies
I'm
of
glad
our
he-
own junk that we went through. We're not licensed for this, so
Yeah.
just
That should be at the very beginning. We have a crap show going on all the time, so do not take all of their
we ain't got enough
advice.
money for the counselors. We're talking about.
Anyway, we gotta go. We made this really long, but I
Nanny
hope
loves
it's
this. I'm gonna give you the thumbs up.
stop. I hate the thumbs up. Anyway, we love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry it was so long, but
If
hopefully
you stayed here the whole time, it's your fault.
Yes. Are you done?
I'm just trying to get you done. Let's go.
I'm trying to tell them goodbye. Anyway, thank y'all. Hope it helped. See y'all soon.
Peace.
Bye. Let's see if I can actually end it though.
I doubt it.